Hey, this is Carlos, and okay, so here's the thing. I applied for the Digital Nomad Visa, and I was, let's say, recently approved. And I figured, since even though there's a lot of information related to this visa and actually provides detailed information about the requirements, I haven't really seen an experience video. I'm assuming this is because the visa is pretty new and maybe not a lot of people have been approved. But I mean, since I have recently been through the process, I figured I could share my experience and then what it was like to go through everything, what documents I was asked, and maybe certain advice I can give, at least to make it easier for you guys. By the way, my English is not the best, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, I speak Spanish as my mother tongue, so yeah, I thought I could make the video, like one video in English and the other one in Spanish, and both people can benefit from it. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So bear with me. Also, I mean, I'm doing this video because I hate public speaking. It's not necessarily my thing, and I hate it. So yeah, so bear with me. Okay, so context. I'm originally from Guatemala, and I mean, I'm work as an analyst for an American company, so as a contractor, right? So the first thing I did was from Guatemala. I went to Ireland. I stayed there for 8 months. I studied there, so I was a student and had a student visa. And after my student visa was about to finish, I was either deciding to go to continue my course in Ireland or maybe to move to another country. And I decided to do the second one because I wanted to live. And I studying and working at the same time is just too hard. Anyway, I went here to Spain and prepared the documentation that I'm gonna mention in a moment. And yeah, after Ireland, I came to Italy. I stayed there for a week, and then I came here to Spain. Right. So the requirements. Having said that, I needed to provide a criminal record check of both countries in which I lived for more than 6 months. In this case, Ireland and Guatemala. So in both need to be apostilled. In the case of the Irish one, translated by an authorized translator here in Spain. So this is something to consider, right? Because first, I translated my Irish police check with an Irish translator. The thing is, it wasn't accepted because it needed to be translated by a translator here in Spain. So maybe just something to consider. Second, I needed to provide a letter from my employer that I was authorized to work here in Spain to live. First, it needed to say that I was working remotely for them. It needed to say that the date I was hired, in case since I'm a contractor, I was hired for them. So yeah, the day we signed the contract and how long we've been working together, the type of relationship we had with each other. In this case, I'm a contractor, so they were my client. And then an indication of how long the company allows me to be here in Spain. And that sounds weird because if you're a contractor, you shouldn't be asked, or you shouldn't be asking for that. But anyway, the Spanish government required it, so yeah, just complied. By the way, I wrote the letter because it was easier that way. And then I just sent it to the HR person, and they would sign it, and that was it, right? So I think that makes the process a bit easier. I also provided my salary in euros and also in the currency in which I received my salary, in my case dollars, and my position and also description of it. Now, take into consideration that I wrote those to be as specific as possible. It doesn't have to be the same letter, but that was the one that I was accepted. And the reason I'm telling you this is because the first time I submitted my letter, it only had my position and a text indicating that I was working remotely. Yeah, and that was it. And the police or the immigration office didn't accept that. I had to redo the letter and get it signed again. So something to consider. I also needed to show proof that I was working with my current company for at least 3 months. So in this case, I provided the contract that showed the date I was hired. This contract needed to be translated as well. I only translated the first 3 pages, which contained the most important information. So yeah, I also sent my bank statements. In my case, I was able to get them in Spanish, and my invoices that I was sending to them. Those I didn't translate. I sent them as I would send it to my client. So yeah, they were in English, and that's it. Then I needed to provide a good standing certificate or a certificate of fact for my current client. This is because it needed to show that the company was paying taxes and has existed for at least 1 year. So yeah, I mean, in this case, because my company is American, I was able to get the, the good standing certificate. For people who are not American, maybe have a client in the United States, you can have an agency to do it for you. So you just have to look online for agencies that do good standing certificates, and they can get it apostilled and they can get the document for you. Right? Unfortunately, it's a bit expensive, but I mean, for someone who didn't know anything about it, it was easy. It was the easiest option. To get the good standing certificate, it's actually pretty easy apparently. You just go to the website and you have to like sign for something. Honestly, I couldn't figure it out, so I hired an agency to do it for me, and that was it. Then I had to get a copy of my entire passport. Yeah, and please don't forget to get a copy of every page, even if they are blank. So you have to get everything from your passport, and that's it. The reason I'm telling you is because I met someone who was actually applying. I'm not sure how his application went because he went to France, I think, and I don't know how it goes. But he was, I'm not sure if denied or asked for further documentation because he forgot to put a page of his passport. So, I mean, just be careful with that. A resume, that one I submitted mine in Spanish. I'm not sure if you had to do it, but I did it. By the way, I put my LinkedIn profile as well in there. The reason is because, I mean, if you've been tagged in your client's post or anything, it does help to give you credibility. Plus, I mean, I've saw people from Spain actually watching my profile, and I do not have any Spanish contacts, so I mean, maybe, I mean, they saw it, I think. Also, I needed to show 3 years of experience, right? Or a degree that was related to what I'm doing at the moment. So in the case, I was graduated from business, which is, I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm doing right now. So I'm a web analyst, by the way, and therefore I showed the 3 years of experience. Now there are countries where they offer you a higher history thing. My country does not offer it. Therefore, I had to ask my previous employers and clients to sign a letter and indicating the time we worked together, the position, and how much I was making. And yeah. By the way, the documents need to be signed by pen. I mean, it doesn't have to come physically. I mean, you can scan them. But my lawyer told me that they both like everything needs to be signed with pen, not digital signing. So I mean, just FYI. By the way, this one is a little bit controversial. I'm not sure. Some people say it is needed. Some people say it's not. I did it because I didn't know. I was pretty new when I was working the visa, but I hired a private health insurance. The insurance needs to be covered for an entire year, and yeah. Some people say that if you signed yourself up with Social Security, you don't need that. But honestly, I'm not sure because I have no idea. So I did that and I got it, and that was it. Then a document that in case of a self-employed, I'm talking for a person who's self-employed, you needed to show that you were registered as a self-employed in your country of residence. In my case, in Guatemala, and that was it. I mean, some people show tax returns. I just showed a document that actually says that you are self-employed because that's what my country provides and that's what it's going to get. I also sent it to get it apostilled, and because Guatemala we speak Spanish, I didn't need it to have it translated. Lastly, By the way, my country, Guatemala, doesn't have any treaty with Spain when it comes to taxes and social security. So therefore, I have to pay everything here in Spain, right? But in this case, I was asked to get a declaration or a letter indicating that I would sign as an autonomo once I was here in Spain and once I was approved. So yeah, I did that, and I'm signing myself up as an autonomo. So that's what I did. When it comes to the process, I mean, I hired an agency, so I have no idea how they submitted my application. Everything is done online. The thing that I know is that you can apply either in Spain or you can apply in your country of residence via, I forgot the name, I'm sorry, consulate. The thing is, if you go via the consulate, they give you only 1 year. If you come here in Spain, they give you 3 years. So, I mean, I came here because I wanted the 3 years, and that was it. So I think that's it. And they submitted my application. I waited for about 15 days. After that, the immigration office asked me for more clarification in certain documents, which I provided the contract, I provided the letter that I had to redo because I needed revision, and I provided my invoices and bank statements because the first time I didn't send those. So yeah, I think that's it. That's basically when it comes to the process of getting your DNB, your Digital Nomad Visa. Again, it's not very complicated. It's just, I mean, since it is new, it's usually chaotic to get certain things. And yeah, so I wish you all the best. By the way, I'm gonna send you, I'm gonna show you how my view looks, but I have no idea how to. Anyway, it doesn't work. And I was thinking of giving you like some view, what it looks like, but yeah. Anyway, advice for people who are new here. Rent is very complicated. I mean, depends, right? If you're maybe someone who makes a lot of money, maybe it's not as hard. If you're like a normal person who wants, a reasonable price of rent, then it's very complicated. And the reason being is because, here housing is managed by agencies in the majority of the cases. And, there's a crisis here in Spain with people like overstaying their welcome in rentals and they don't pay, and it's an issue here. So landlords are very cautious to the people they rent. Therefore, they need certain requirements like tax returns or a contract from a Spanish company and that kind of stuff, which I don't have, and I think the majority of people won't have because they're new and I was new, and so I didn't have my tax returns from Spain because I was new. So that's a complication. So you just have to be cautious about that and just be sure that you're gonna take a while to find a rental in the majority of the cases. So just be patient. Try to find like local people who are actually renting and maybe not agencies. That way it's a bit easier to get a contract. Just my advice. Then once you have everything approved, once you have your visa approved, that's great. The first step is to get your padrón. Padrón is basically a document or empadronamiento. It's a document that states that you are living in a place here in Spain, right? That you have a house or a rental. So your rental must be at least 6 months. And here in Valencia, and by the way, in Valencia, it depends of the city you are in. But in the majority of the cases, you need at least 6 to 7 months of rental to get empadronado. That document is needed to get your ID card, and in the documents they give you once you're approved, it says that within the 30 days you need to have it. It's not set in stone because appointments to get your ID card are very scarce, therefore it's really complicated to get it. But you always want to be careful on this, right? So it's first you have to have a rental at least for 6 months, and then you have to get an appointment for your ID card. But this is only possible if you have your padrono, which needs a rental contract. So that's it. Opening a bank account is also hard if you don't have your ID card. It's very complicated, and the reason is first you need padrone as well. And if you have a passport, like in many occasions, banks ask you to have an insurance that only are available in your current banks. So that's a bit sketchy, and I didn't like that. Plus, you have to pay a fee, not only the insurance but the account. So for me, it was like I'm not paying 60 euros per month for a bank account. So I use Wise, which is easier. But again, like you gotta be cautious in there. So something to consider, I think. The easiest option if you are, let's say, young, is to open a bank account near university, or you go to a branch that is inside the university. They're way more open to opening bank accounts. In my case, I was able to open one with my passport and for free until I'm 27 years old. So at the moment I have 2 years of free account while I switch to another one, right? And once I have my ID card, which usually doesn't last, I mean, it takes like 2 months to get due to appointments and yeah, the scarcity of appointments. But once you have it, then you can apply for a free online account, and that's it. So you don't have to worry about it. I think that's pretty much it. By the way, I mean, if you're working with agencies, just be cautious, or at least be aware so you don't get nervous, right? In summer, many people take vacations, which is alright. I mean, everyone needs vacation, everyone deserves them. But if you are applying and you're nervous about it, and maybe you're running, I mean, your time is running thin, then it's better just to be cautious and apply in a period that not many vacations are available. So maybe like winter or something, so you don't lose time on the vacation period. Because it happened to me once that two occasions where my main point of contact with the vacation, which is alright. The thing is, they left me with another person who wasn't aware of my situation and everything, and documentation. So basically, I would send something to review, and they would say, "Hey, we're gonna check it out," and it didn't happen. So yeah, I mean, just something to consider, I think, and maybe just to be aware if it happens. Again, like I didn't lose much time. It's just like 2 days worth of documentation, so it isn't that bad. But you gotta be aware. I think that's it, and I wish you all the best with your application. I'm sure you are gonna get it and enjoy the country. So that's an amazing thing, and best of luck.